lied to my middle daughter that we'd redecorate her room to get her to leave me alone, then spent the money making her younger sister's dream room instead. She covered the new wallpaper in paint with profanities and moved into the garage. I grounded her and took away her art supplies that she bought with her own money. Now she says she's just a tenant in my house and that I can rot in hell. I've finally realized I pushed my daughter into becoming a hateful person, and I regret my harsh parenting methods. I have 3 daughters, Lydia, 17, Jade, 15, and Kaya, 10. I've always tried my best to treat them fairly, but Jade has always been the difficult one. Ever since she hit puberty, it's been one issue after another attitude, slamming doors, rolling her eyes, saying, "I don't understand her. I work full-time, come home to take care of the house, and still try to make sure all of them have what they need." But lately, Jade makes everything about herself. For months, she's been begging me to let her redo her bedroom. She's been obsessed with painting, colors, and this creative space idea she got from TikTok. I told her we'd look into it when the budget allowed, because we already had other priorities. She kept pestering me about it to the point it became exhausting. Every week it was something: new paint samples, Pinterest boards, even asking for new furniture when her stuff was still fine. It's like she thinks we're made of money. Around that same time, Kaya started saying she wanted a dream room too. The difference is Kaya doesn't demand things or throw fits. She just talks about what she likes and goes back to playing. She's a child who actually appreciates things. I'll admit, I wanted to do something nice for her. She's the youngest, she's easygoing, and honestly, after dealing with Jade's constant mood swings, it was refreshing. So when we had some extra money saved, I decided to use it to surprise Kaya. I told Jade that we'd get to her room next time we had the budget, and she seemed fine with it. At least I thought she did. We spent a few weekends painting Kaya's room, buying her new curtains, bedding, some fairy lights, even a cute desk setup for her homework. The theme was soft pastels and stars, exactly what she'd dreamed of. She was over the moon. I felt good about it, like I was finally doing something right as a mom again. Then Jade realized where the money actually went. I think she overheard me telling Lydia something about the project being finished. She came into the kitchen fuming, saying I lied to her, that I stole her chance to finally make her space her own. I told her it wasn't stealing, Kaya just got hers first, and we'd get to hers later. She kept saying I made promises I never intended to keep, which isn't true. I just didn't expect this level of drama. I tried to explain that Kaya's younger and more grateful, and Jade snapped that I was playing favorites. It was like arguing with a wall. She refused to talk to me after that. I figured she'd calm down and get over it like she always does. But 2 days later, I walked into Kaya's room and almost had a heart attack. The walls were covered in black and red paint words like rotten family, liar, and other things I won't repeat. The curtains were torn, the comforter shredded, and one of the lamps smashed. There was paint on the carpet, the dresser, even on the ceiling. I just stood there frozen. Kaya was crying her eyes out, and I honestly saw red. I called Jade downstairs and asked her what in the world she was thinking. She didn't deny it. She just stood there staring at me and said, "Now it's fair." That's all she said, and I completely lost it. I told her she was grounded until further notice and that she was banned from her room. I told her if she couldn't respect other people's spaces, then she didn't deserve her own. We don't have a basement, so the only space left was the garage. I told her she'd be sleeping there until she learned how to act like a decent human being. She cried and said it was abuse, and that she wasn't some kind of dog to be thrown out. But honestly, I was beyond caring at that point. That room she destroyed took time, money, and effort, not to mention Kaya's feelings. I took away all of Jade's art supplies too. I bought most of them for her over the years, but she claimed they were hers because she paid for some with her allowance. Either way, she lost that privilege. Clearly, she can't handle it responsibly if she's using paint to destroy things. The next few days were awful. She barely spoke. She dragged a few blankets and pillows into the garage, and when I checked on her later, she'd set up a sort of studio with her sketchbooks and an old lamp. It honestly creeped me out how calm she seemed, like she wasn't even sad, just done. She started eating dinner separately and staying out there most of the time. When I told her she needed to come back inside, she just said she preferred being somewhere I don't have to look at hypocrites. That really hurt, because no matter what's happened, I'm still her mother. Now she's saying things like, she's just a tenant in my house, and that I can rot in hell. I've tried to reason with her, but she just laughs or ignores me. Lydia started taking her side too, saying I went too far. Even my husband, Hank, told me I should have handled it differently. But nobody seems to understand how awful it felt walking into that destroyed room and seeing Kaya's things ruined. Kaya can barely sleep now. She keeps asking if Jade hates her. It's heartbreaking. I'm not going to pretend I'm perfect. Maybe I could have been more patient, but I honestly don't think I deserved this level of disrespect. When I was her age, if I'd done something like that, my parents would have thrown me out for good. I grounded her instead and made sure she had what she needed: heat, food, everything. I didn't put her in danger. I just wanted her to understand that actions have consequences. So I guess my question is, did I really mess up that bad here? Update 1. I didn't expect thousands of strangers to call me a monster and say I emotionally abused my own child. That word alone makes me sick because that's not who I am. I've worked hard for my family all my life, and to see everyone turn their backs on me like this is something I never imagined. After that post, my oldest daughter Lydia somehow found it. I didn't even know she used Reddit. She told my husband Hank and then showed it to Jade. That was the biggest mistake because now everyone in this house looks at me differently. Lydia said it was eye-opening, and that reading it made her realize how I talk about Jade behind her back. I told her that's not true. I was just venting to get advice, but she said the way I described Jade was cruel. I was just being honest. I didn't lie about anything. I said what happened. Since then, Hank and I have been arguing non-stop. He says I handled everything wrong and that I'm pushing Jade away permanently. I keep telling him that discipline is part of parenting, and I didn't hurt her or throw her out. She has food, clothes, a heater, and privacy in the garage. It's not like she's sleeping outside in the cold. But according to Hank, I humiliated her. I told him I didn't humiliate anyone. She humiliated herself when she destroyed her sister's room like that. He said that if I cared even a little, I would have tried to understand why she did it instead of punishing her immediately. I can't understand that logic. What's there to understand? She vandalized a 10-year-old's room out of spite. What possible excuse could make that okay? Hank's been distant ever since. He spends most evenings in the living room and barely talks to me. He started sneaking food out to the garage and leaving it for Jade, which I found insulting because it's not like I'm starving her. I already bring her meals, but she refuses to take them. He also gave her one of his old tablets so she could draw again since I took her paint away. I didn't know until I saw the light from the garage window one night. I went in there and found her sitting on the floor, using it to draw. I told her I never said she couldn't create, but that she wasn't allowed to have art supplies because she destroyed property with them. She ignored me completely. I tried to take the tablet, but she pulled away and said it wasn't mine to take. I was so furious I ended up taking it anyway. She didn't even react. She just sat there like she was somewhere else. Hank found out and exploded. Said I was cruel and power hungry and that I needed help. It's like that's all anyone can call me now. He said if I don't give Jade her stuff back and apologize, he's taking the girls and staying somewhere else for a while. I told him to do whatever he wants. I'm not apologizing for setting boundaries, but now the house feels different. Lydia barely speaks to me, and when she does, it's to say something cold. Kaya's been quiet too. She doesn't even want to sleep in her room anymore. She keeps asking me when Jade's coming back inside, and I honestly don't know what to say to her. I tell her Jade needs to calm down first, but I can tell she blames me. The worst part is that now people outside the family are involved. Lydia shared a video on her story. It's something Jade posted on TikTok. Apparently Jade's been recording her art. My husband gave her back her supplies, which is another thing in itself, out in the garage and turned it into some kind of series. The last one I saw had her painting on the wall in there. She painted a huge mural, a woman painting over a crying girl's bedroom. The caption said something about, "When lies paint over love." The comments were full of strangers telling her she's brave and creative, calling me controlling and abusive. I was shaking reading it. They don't even know us. They don't know what she did to that room or what I've done for her all these years. And of course people connected the dots. Some found my original Reddit post and started commenting on it, saying they recognized me from her TikTok. Someone even found my Facebook and sent me hateful messages. I had to deactivate my account because of how bad it got. Hank says this is all my fault for airing family problems online. Maybe it was, but I never thought it would turn into this. I was just looking for advice, not a public attack. Jade doesn't seem bothered at all. If anything, she seems proud of it. She spends all her time out there, painting, filming, and ignoring everyone. I found out she's been selling prints of her art online now. Hank told me it's actually been making money. I said she's still a child. She shouldn't be running some business on social media without permission. He told me I have no say anymore because I broke her trust. That hurt to hear, because I'm still her mother. I'm still the one keeping the house running, paying for everything, making sure everyone eats. Yet somehow, I'm the villain. My sister even called me yesterday to say she saw the video and that Jade's clearly crying for help. She said if I don't fix things soon, I'll lose my daughter for good. Everyone keeps acting like I'm the only one who did something wrong. No one's talking about how Jade trashed her sister's room. No one's mentioning the words she painted on those walls, or how she scared Kaya so badly she won't go in there anymore. It's like that part of the story doesn't matter because they've already decided who the bad guy is. I've tried talking to Jade, but it's like talking to a wall. She won't respond. Sometimes I can hear her laughing out there late at night while she paints. It's unsettling. I don't even know if she's laughing at me or just losing herself in whatever she's doing. I asked Hank to step in, but he said she won't listen to me because she's traumatized. I hate that word. I didn't traumatize anyone. I disciplined my child after she destroyed property. That's not trauma, that's parenting. Update 2. So things have officially gone off the rails since my last post, and I honestly don't even know where to start. I didn't think it could get worse, but apparently, every time I try to fix something, it just makes everything explode in my face. After that whole situation with the TikTok blowing up, I thought it would just be a small internet thing that would die down after a few days. People get mad online all the time and then move on. But this one didn't go away. Someone from my work recognized the garage and the way Jade paints and connected the dots. I work part-time at a private school, teaching art classes to younger kids, and one of the parents sent the video to the headmaster. They called me into a meeting and told me that there had been concerns raised about my behavior as a parent and how it might reflect poorly on the school's values. I was so embarrassed I could barely sit through it. They didn't fire me, but they said it would be best if I took some time away while the situation settled down, so basically suspended without saying it outright. I came home that day shaking with anger. I just sat in the car for a while, staring at the steering wheel, trying to calm myself down. I couldn't believe this was actually happening, all because my daughter couldn't let go of one punishment and had to go online to make me look like some kind of monster. When I got inside, I could hear her out in the garage. I didn't go out there at first, but later that night I called her. She didn't pick up, so I tried again the next morning when she was at school. I figured maybe if I could talk to her calmly, she'd understand what she's done. When she finally answered, she barely let me get a word in. I told her she needed to take down the video because it was hurting my job and making people harass me online. She said something about how I deserved to face consequences and then hung up. I was so stunned, I just sat there staring at my phone. Later that day, I got a call from the school saying I wasn't allowed to contact her during class hours again. I thought that was ridiculous, so I called the principal to complain, and that's when she told me that Jade had gone to the office and said she felt unsafe and that I was harassing her. When my husband Hank found out, he completely lost it on me. He said he's been trying to stay out of this, but that I've gone too far. He told me I was obsessed with control, that I couldn't stand when people didn't do what I said. I tried to tell him I was just trying to protect the family's name and my job, but he said I was only trying to protect my pride. He packed a few bags and left that same night. He took Kaya with him. I didn't even get to say goodbye to her properly. Now it's just me and Jade in this house, but it doesn't even feel like she lives here. She barely comes inside. She eats out there, sleeps out there, and goes to school. Update 3. Jade moved out. I don't even know what else to say. I feel like my own family has turned me into some kind of monster when all I ever did was try to hold things together. It's been a few weeks now, and I still can't get over the fact that everyone acts like I somehow deserved all of this. It started the day after our last fight. I came home from running errands and the garage was empty. Her clothes, the small fridge, the old blankets, everything was gone. I thought maybe she went to a friend's for the weekend, but she didn't come back. My sister Claire called later that night, saying Jade was staying with her. She said she'd picked her up after school and that Jade would be living there until things calmed down. I told her she had no right to do that, but she said Jade asked for her help. I told her this was kidnapping and that she was enabling a child who's been disrespectful and manipulative. Claire just told me Jade wasn't safe here and hung up. I tried to call the police because I honestly didn't know what else to do. They told me since Jade is 16 and staying with a family member, there isn't anything illegal about it. They said if she doesn't want to come home, they can't force her. It made me feel completely powerless. I thought at least they would back me up, but no one does anymore. Claire texted me a few days later saying Jade had agreed for her to show me something. They were photos of pages from one of Jade's sketchbooks. She said Jade wanted me to see it because maybe then I'd understand. The pages were full of drawings of our house. Some looked like memories, but twisted me standing over her sitting on the floor painting with tears running down her face. That sort of thing. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I work, I clean, I cook. I've been there for all of them. I've always made sure they had everything they needed. But now, everyone acts like I'm some kind of villain. Claire told me Jade said she's scared she'll turn into me one day, that she doesn't want to be a mother because of me. That was one of the hardest things to hear. I don't understand how someone could twist things like that. Hank still hasn't come back. He's staying with his brother. He said until the situation stabilizes, he's keeping Kaya there. He barely talks to me. Lydia doesn't either. Apparently, she's been visiting Jade and helping her with schoolwork. I tried calling Kaya, but she didn't want to talk. She said Jade told her I'm mean and controlling. I honestly can't wrap my head around how my own daughter could poison her sister like that. My parents are avoiding me now too. Claire must have said something because they keep texting things like, "We're praying for you," instead of actually talking. My coworkers stopped messaging me. I think they've seen Jade's TikToks because they've gone completely silent. I'm pretty sure one of them unfollowed me. Even the parents at the school who used to greet me politely now avoid eye contact. Claire keeps saying Jade's healing now, which I think is ridiculous. Healing from what? Being told no? Being grounded? Losing privileges after destroying property? I can't stand how self-righteous everyone's become. Final update. I'm writing this mostly because I've seen people asking for updates and because last night was Jade's 18th birthday. I wasn't there. I wasn't even told where it was happening until I saw the photos online. My sister Claire hosted it at her house, a whole family dinner with balloons, a cake, and what looked like half the extended family there. Even Hank and the girls were there. I wasn't invited. I don't even know where to begin anymore. I used to think all of this would eventually pass, that she'd come around, that maybe after some time she'd understand that I only ever wanted to teach her discipline and structure. But it's clear now that she's built a completely new life without me in it. I saw the pictures on social media, Jade sitting at the head of the table, smiling, with paint on her hands, and wearing that same old hoodie she used to wear when she'd paint in the garage. I remember how much I used to hate that hoodie. It was always covered in stains, and I'd tell her she looked sloppy. Now looking at her, she looked comfortable, like herself. I couldn't help thinking how strange it is that she finally looks at peace away from me. After she moved in with Claire, I thought it would just be for a short while. I thought she'd miss her home, her sisters, maybe even me, but that never happened. She got a part-time job at a local art store, kept going to school. Claire told me once that she was saving money for her own apartment when she turned 18. I wanted to believe it was just talk, that she'd grow out of this phase. But she did it. She made everything happen for herself while I was sitting here thinking she'd eventually need me again. Hank never came back home after he left with Kaya. The separation became permanent a year later. He said he couldn't be with someone who always needed control over everything. He didn't fight over much. He just packed his things, said he wanted stability for Kaya, and that was it. I didn't even fight it because honestly, I was too tired to. I thought at least Lydia would stay in touch, but she sided with her father. She visits him often, helps with Kaya, and from what I can tell, she's kept her relationship with Jade strong. It's like they've all quietly moved on and erased me from the picture. For a while, I tried to rebuild things. I wrote emails to Claire asking her to convince Jade to talk to me. Most of them went unanswered. When she did reply, she said Jade didn't want to reopen old wounds. She said it wasn't about the bedroom or the garage, that it was years of feeling unwanted. I looked back on all the little things, the comments I made, the times I brushed off her interests, the way I always compared her to her sisters. I told myself I was pushing her to be stronger, to not be lazy, to not expect praise for everything. But maybe I just kept reminding her she wasn't enough the way she was. The internet still remembers too. Every so often someone digs up those old posts or the TikToks she made about the lie. People comment about how awful I was, how I ruined my kid's life. I used to get angry when I saw those things, wanting to defend myself, but lately I just scroll past. I guess they're not wrong. Maybe I really did make her that angry person I used to call ungrateful. Last night, I thought about sending her a message, just happy birthday. I must have written it 5 times and deleted it each time. I kept wondering if she'd even see it or if it would go straight to the trash like the rest. Maybe she's blocked me. Maybe she hasn't. I'll never know. I just didn't send it in the end. I didn't want to ruin her day or give her another reason to roll her eyes at my attempts to reach out. Kaya doesn't stay here much. She spends most weekends with her dad. I still work, though not at the same school. I couldn't go back there after everything. Too many people knew. I teach part-time somewhere new, keep my head down, and come home to silence. People say time heals things, but that hasn't been the case here.